ready, get set, because it's
time to go with the It's 420 Somewhere podcast. With your host with the most, the man voted most likely to smoke out with a Yeti, Mr. Brian Brown. Now sit back and relax, because it's time to go live across the world. Because it's 420 Somewhere.
And boom! We're live. Ants. There's proof. There's proof in the pudding. It sounds weird about talking about wearing pants, but welcome to the It's 420 Somewhere podcast, guys. I am your host, Brian Brown, and what this is, what you've stumbled into, is the hottest, the craziest, the wildest, the wackiest 420 countdown show of all time, guys. That's right. We go live every day, Monday through Friday, and we count down to the best time of all time. 420. We do a little review action. Cha-ching. Cha-ching. Oh, like better. Cha-ching. We do a little review action, guys. We review a strain. We talk about the good times. We spark up. We pass the peace pipe. We do good things. And then we talk craziness. We talk movie Mondays. We talk today, Paranormal Tuesday. We talk conspiracies as well. Weed Wednesday. We talk true crime Thursday. And of course, Baked and Unboxed on Friday. Today, guys, we are talking the anniversary of the Boston Massacre. That's right. The Boston Massacre was today, guys. Some say propaganda at its finest. This was our own John Adams, President John Adams, defended these gentlemen accused of the Boston Massacre, guys. A lot of propaganda, a lot of hype went into it. These were some soldiers that were getting shit thrown at them, and they shot a couple shots and killed a couple people, but they called it a massacre. They were like, they're killing mass people. They're just opening fire. And it really was one of the things that sparked the revolution, guys. One of the things that was the powder keg, if you will. I'll scoot this over a little bit. Scooch it over. You guys want to see something funny? We got Rosie in the back sleeping. I don't know if you guys can hear her snoring. Oh, Rosie, sleeping on the job once again. What kind of producer bulldog are you? All right, guys, we are counting down to 420, getting into some fun in the sun. We got our girl Aurora Hayes joining us, going to give us a breakdown of the Boston Massacre, and then we're going to get into conspiracies, how propaganda played a huge role in shaping this country, guys. You know, we don't talk a lot about that. We don't talk a lot about our propaganda. We want to throw up North Korea and how you look everywhere and they got pictures of their president, pictures of this. What about Uncle Sam? What about all these things, guys? You know, we don't talk a lot about that. What else is happening out there today, guys? We got a few minutes before 420. Want to hear you guys getting into some good stuff, man. What's everyone doing today? What is today? Tuesday, guys. What's out there in the world? Joe McHale is saying Community movie will shoot this year. Oh man, that's exciting news. Who loves Community? I bet you Chevy Chase will not be in it. That actually is pretty exciting. Let's see what this. So Joe McHale says Community movie will shoot this year. Peacock is working around Donald Glover's schedule. I'm a big fan of Community, guys. If you have not seen Community, I would suggest to go check it out. It's Joe McHale. It's an NBC comedy. Chevy Chase is in the first few seasons. Pretty good show. Launched a few careers. It's basically a show like The Office, like Superstore, those type of shows. But this takes place at a community college, and the characters are at a community college. Very, very cool. Very, very fun. I would suggest it. So we're finally in the year that the Community movie will be headed back to the set at Greendale Community College to shoot the film that has long time coming. Joe McHale told Deadline this week that the script is written. While he hasn't yet read it himself, he's more than happy to share some story details. We go into the center of the earth, he joked, like the movie The Core. Uh, Donald Glover recently revealed that the film centers on a college reunion. One-time Grindel Community College Abib Nadar, played by Daniel Pudi, is now the big director, and the Peacock will watch his magnum opus. So so it picks up. I guess it will be a reunion. It'll be a movie. Yeah, kind of cool. Kind of cool. I can live with that. Definitely looking forward to that. What do we got, guys? What do we got? We got 2 minutes before 4:20. Blow up those comments for me. How's everyone doing? Lonnie, how you doing, buddy? Got a big birthday coming through. Eric, the broken brain of Eric. Rosie, how you doing? A big shout out to everyone. Let's see. Sorry, guys. I want to get into this next story real quick. Henry Cavill, former Superman, is reportedly set to appear in the MCU, and his character will shock the fans. He will be playing. He had mentioned interest in joining the MCU and specifically mentioned Captain Britain. There was also a rumor that Cavill was cast as Doctor Doom. Ooh, he was offered something else and he accepted. His MCU role will be shocking to some. So the big question is who he will be playing in his big debut. There's a lot of speculation online. I can tell you that a couple of people out there have got it right. Before we throw up a spoiler warning, I strongly believe that this said being true. I don't want to be spoiled for you. I don't know if you want to wait for the surprise. Don't read ahead. All right, guys. So we got a spoiler. I'm going to tell you right now, we got a spoiler, but we got 30 seconds before 4:20, guys. So if you want to know what the spoiler is on the MCU, you'll stick around after 4:20. And then, stick around anyway. We're talking the Boston Massacre. Boston Massacre, yo. All right, guys, we got 10 seconds. We're counting it down. Blow up those comments. What are you getting into? I'm going to come back and tell you what I'm getting into. Some cowboy shit, guys. Rainbow mints. Bam. Whatever you're doing, stop. Breathe in that positivity. Exhale that negativity, guys. Remember, this is your moment. Clear your mind. Clear the mechanism. Get some peace of mind because it is 4:20. And boom! How was your 4:20, guys? Mine was fire. I was getting into this Coastal Cowboys, guys. This is a Rainbow Mints. Oh man, this stuff is fire. It smells so good. You can get this down at 1400 Needles Highway, Needles, California. The Healings and your number one. Ooh, Cannabis Superstore. Ooh man. Ooh man. Ooh man. Ah. They may be runts, but they pack a punch, guys. That's right. Your runts pack a punch. But check this out. Get it where all the Healing Center products are sold at the Healing Center, guys. Get on down there. Check it out. All right, guys. We are getting into the go. Who wants to stick around for the spoiler? All right. The spoiler is tune out, mute it. And I'll tell you when to come back. I'll go like this when to come back. That Henry Cavill will show up in the Marvel Deadpool and Wolverine movie. And he's going to be playing a version of Wolverine. That's right. A lot of theories go into that, guys. You didn't hear. I don't know. This is rumor. This is rumor, not 100% fact, but coming from a pretty positive source. So that is it. That is it. All right, you can come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back. Come back, guys. All right, so that was the big spoiler, only here on the dailydank.com. Nice. I love these. I love these. All right, guys, let's get into some fun stuff. Paranormal Tuesday, we talk conspiracies as well. And we are talking the Boston Massacre. So this is a little incident that happened, guys. Revolutionary War times. Had some soldiers sitting up. Some shit was talked. Some ice snowballs was thrown. Some bottles, perhaps. And some shots were fired. People died. And then the propaganda machine took over. We're going to get into it, guys. We got our girl Aurora Hayes in the house, guys. She's going to walk us through a brief history of it, a brief breakdown. And then if that's not good enough, guys, we're going to come back and we're going to talk the conspiracies of propaganda and how the U.S. used the propaganda to their advantage, guys. All right, let's check this out.
In the 1940s when the jazz was fine, had our mind set on a golden high. With Aurora Hayes we danced through the haze, imagined adventures that would forever amaze. Oh, Aurora Hayes, light up our days, spark those cannabis dreams in a magical ways. With every puff our spirits would rise to limitless heights under star skies. Oh, Aurora Hayes, light up our days.
It's a crisp March evening in 1770, and you're in the heart of Boston. The streets are buzzing, yet tension hangs heavy in the air. The city is a bubbling pot of political ferment and fervor, the air crackling with the anticipation of change. The colonists, tired of British rule and its taxing, are on the edge, and the British soldiers, the redcoats, are on their toes. A group of colonists, agitated and impassioned, find themselves face to face with a small group of British soldiers. A standoff ensues. The colonists, armed with nothing more than their courage and a handful of snowballs, stones, and sticks, decide to take a stand. The British soldiers, armed with muskets, stand their ground. A snowball is thrown, a stick is hurled, and the tension escalates. Among the colonists there are characters like Samuel Gray, a strong and sturdy rope maker, and Crispus Attucks, a man of African and Native American descent who would become the first casualty of the Boston Massacre. On the other side we have Captain Thomas Preston leading the British soldiers, men who were far from home and caught in a situation they never expected. As the scene unfolds, the snowballs and sticks become symbols of rebellion, each one thrown with a fervor that echoes the colonists' longing for freedom. The British soldiers, cornered and afraid, retaliate. In the chaos, shots are fired. 5 colonists lay dead on the snow-covered streets, marking the start of a revolution that would change the course of history. And just like that, the first snowball of the revolution was thrown, leading to the Boston Massacre. Now, if you're a history buff like me, you're probably thinking, I wish I had some popcorn for this. Well, our sponsor, thedailydank.com, has got you covered. They're your home for all things cannabis, from education to entertainment, and a culture like no other. So grab your popcorn, and let's dive deeper into the story of the Boston Massacre. Now let's dive into the thick of that fateful night. 5 colonists lost their lives, but the fallout was far greater. On that chilly evening of March 5th, 1770, Boston's King Street was brimming with tension. A disagreement over a wigmaker's bill had escalated into a full-blown confrontation. British soldiers, feeling threatened by the agitated crowd, opened fire. When the smoke cleared, 5 colonists lay lifeless, their lives abruptly ended by the very soldiers meant to maintain peace. The victims, Crispus Attucks, Samuel Gray, James Caldwell, Samuel Maverick, and Patrick Carr, became the reluctant martyrs of a burgeoning revolution. The aftermath was a whirlwind of propaganda, trials, and rising resentment. The soldiers were arrested, and none other than John Adams, a future president, defended them in court. Adams argued that the soldiers had acted in self-defense, a claim that resulted in 6 acquittals. Only 2 soldiers were convicted, not of murder, but of the lesser charge of manslaughter. This trial was more than a quest for justice. It was a pivotal moment that stoked the fires of discontent among the colonists. They saw the acquittals as proof of Britain's disregard for their lives and rights, fueling the desire for independence. For those of you who crave more nuggets of history, thedailydank.com offers a variety of historical podcasts, including an in-depth look at the Boston Massacre. It's your one-stop shop for all things history, offering a fresh perspective on events that shaped our world. But let's not forget that history isn't just about battles, politics, or revolutions. It's about individuals, their lives, their struggles, and their stories. Like the 5 colonists whose lives were cut short on that fateful night, each of us is part of the grand tapestry of history, weaving our own narratives. And speaking of people and their stories, let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, the Healing Center of Needles. Nestled on the iconic Route 66, it's your #1 cannabis superstore, offering a unique blend of history and culture that's as rich and varied as the history we're unpacking today. The Boston Massacre didn't just end with the trial, it sparked a revolution. A powder keg in the American colonies, the incident ignited a flame that would lead to the birth of a new nation. The fallout was immediate and far-reaching. 5 lives lost on a cold March night in 1770 became the rallying cry for a continent yearning for freedom. In the wake of the massacre, the colonies were ablaze with outrage and calls for justice. The aftermath was a frenzy of propaganda, led by the likes of Paul Revere. His engraving of the event, while not entirely accurate, played a pivotal role in shaping public opinion. It depicted British soldiers firing indiscriminately into a crowd of peaceful protesters, stoking the fires of rebellion and turning the tide against British rule. The Healing Center of Needles, a beacon of wellness located on the historic Route 66, appreciates the importance of history and how it shapes the present. Much like the propagandists of the 18th century, they understand the power of narratives. They've seen firsthand how the stories we tell ourselves and each other can shape our perceptions and drive us towards progress. The legacy of the Boston Massacre is far from simple. It served as a catalyst for revolutionary change, yes, but it also left a lasting imprint on the fabric of American society. It demonstrated the power of public sentiment and the role of media in shaping that sentiment. It showed us that the pen, or in this case, the engraving needle, can indeed be mightier than the sword. As we remember the Boston Massacre, we're reminded of the power of individuals to effect change. It's a narrative not dissimilar to that of the cannabis revolution, where individuals and communities have challenged the status quo and fought for their right to wellness and freedom. Just as the Boston Massacre sparked a revolution, we too can be catalysts for change in our own lives. Because in the end, history isn't just about the past, it's about the lessons we learn and the future we build. So let's take a leaf from history and be the change we wish to see. Let's spark our own revolution. So, what can we take away from the Boston Massacre? A lot, actually. The Boston Massacre was not just a single event, but a series of occurrences that unfolded over time. It began with a simple confrontation, escalated into a deadly clash, and culminated in a trial that forever changed the course of American history. The fallout from this event was profound, sparking a revolutionary spirit that resonated across the colonies. It served as a stark reminder of the power of public sentiment and the influence of media. It set the stage for the eventual revolt against British rule, signaling the dawn of a new era. Understanding history is not just about memorizing dates and events. It's about recognizing the connections between the past and the present, and understanding how the actions of individuals can shape the course of history. Remember, we are the authors of our own stories. just as the colonists and soldiers were back in 1770. So let's make our stories count. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring history.
All right, guys. How do you like that? That was great. Thank you, Aurora Hayes. So that was a little breakdown of the Boston Massacre, guys. You know what I want to talk about is the propaganda that followed. So as you can see, this is the ink blot, the picture, whatever, the drawn. I forget how they did the inscription, whatever, however they put it. So this is basically what you would see in the newspaper. Oh my God! Look, they just opened fire on those poor people. Look at that! Look at the cloud of smoke. It was a massacre, And this was one of the first times that this had happened in, I guess ever in the history. We're started to use artwork, started to use newspaper. We're developing as a society, and then all of a sudden, you see this. How's your opinion not going to sway when you see that? And that's pretty much what started. Paul Revere started the revolution. That's what kind of kicked it off a little bit. Trying to figure out my spot here. That's what kicked it off, guys. And I want to talk about propaganda and how governments kind of use it. More so. You can still see. How. Oh man. You know what? They'll just have to wait, guys. I got someone at my damn door. All right, hang on 1 second, guys.
Rosie the bulldog, she's quite a sight, running around the park with all her might. When nature calls, she knows what to do. Take a little break just to see it through. Rosie the bulldog, she's got style, doing her business with a happy smile. On a little adventure before we resume. Waiting for Rosie, just a quick interlude.
So one time, a guy comes to my door. I come walking by. I'm smoking weed outside. He asked me if I have any. I don't want him to smoke my bong with me, so I throw him a couple buds. Now this dude comes to my door, rings the doorbell, asking for weed. Interrupting my show, man. Oh, interrupted my flow. All right, so let's talk about the Boston Massacre, guys. All right, so as you can see, you had a bunch of propaganda really led to that. The actual story is, there was a couple shots fired. Some people did die. It was a kind of a riot, zoot suit riot. But definitely that's what swayed. And if you look, if you look throughout the time, how the United States has used propaganda, um, not just on there was a lot more artwork on that, but just throughout time. World War II, U.S. propaganda in World War II. Was a huge one. Again, the power of persuasion. You had your Uncle Sam, I want you to the U.S. Army enlist now. Who was it? The lady, who Riveter Rosie or whatever. Hey, Riveter Rosie. United we win. Man the guns. Join the Navy. All sorts. They all that is propaganda. Even though it's rah for the country, we're Team America, it's still propaganda. And now you use kind of when you ride alone, you ride with Hitler. Join a car sharing club today. Oh my God, I gotta show you guys this one. Oh, this one's great. This one is great. Oh man. There you go. Check this one out, guys. Oh, this one's so good. When you ride alone, you ride with Hitler. Join a car sharing club today. We laugh about it, but you really think about it, guys, and you think about how it's being used today, you know, with the media. Propaganda, guys. It's a sad world we live in when you have to, I made a joke the other day, and, we don't talk politics on this show, guys. I don't like the ruffle feathers, and, but I made a joke, and, and I lean a certain way and whatever. I can get away with this joke. I saw a guy, and he had like a tank top, and he was all muscle. I'm like, hey, he watches Fox News. Not as an insult, because it's a sad world that we live in, that that's even a joke. That news you watch is basically, remember in high school, he listens to heavy metal, man. We play sports. We don't talk to that guy. We listen to rap. We don't talk to those heavy metal guys. We don't talk to those sports guys. It's so dumb that you live in that world, like in today's society, for that kind of mentality with the propaganda. Fox News guy, we don't talk to him. He's a MSNBC guy. We don't talk to him. He's a CNN guy. Yeah, even CNN has gone the bias route. I know they're trying to bring it back, but remember when that was like the gold standard? Whatever happened to the days of you had who was the guy? Walter Cronkite. And he told you what the news was. 2 men, they robbed a bank. They shot a dude. They left. Police want your help to find them. This is what they look like. Let's get them. That's it. No opinion. No nothing. He just told you just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts. How great, I would love to go back to that. Now everything's an opinion. Everyone wants the piece, the moment, their social media moment. And the news has just gone shitty, man, with this propaganda. And I think the Boston Massacre is one of the very first indications of what our society has become. And, hopefully we can get it back, man. I would love to have just a straight up news channel. Hey, these 2 guys are running for president. Some people like this guy. Some people don't. Some people like this guy. Some people don't. These are what they stand for. See ya. Wouldn't that be great? Wouldn't that be great? Because in the end, we're all just people, guys. What's good for me and my family may not be good for you and your family, and I respect that, and I respect your opinion, and hopefully you respect mine, because I got to do ultimately what I think is right for me and my family, and I respect right for you and yours family, period. No matter what our Uncle Sam says, guys. So that is how propaganda changed America, guys. The very beginning of propaganda, and look how it has unfolded throughout the years. Crazy, crazy. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. I got to get off to Vegas. I got an appointment. I will see you guys on the flip side, 7:10 a.m. Super Show. We'll see you in the morning, guys. Appreciate you. We'll see you, guys.
Thank you for joining us on the It's 420 Somewhere podcast. Broadcasting worldwide and brought to you by thedailydank.com.
Check out our merchandise and amazing content.
And follow us on all our social media. Now, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
See you guys.